All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're not just talking about real estate. We're breaking down a strategic investment dossier for Costa Rica, specifically looking ahead to 2026. This is for the serious investor. We're going way beyond the idea of a simple vacation spot to really understand it as a core asset in a portfolio. Let's get started.
And that quote right there, that really sets the whole tone for our conversation. This isn't about finding a nice place to hang out for a few weeks a year. It's a complete reframing. It means you're already thinking on another level. You're thinking about stability, you're thinking about yield, and you're looking for real, durable value in what's become a pretty complex global market.
So the big questions are, why Costa Rica? And maybe even more importantly, why right now? Well, it's because there are these powerful undercurrents at play, forces that are making this market incredibly compelling in a way it hasn't been before. Let's break down exactly what those forces are.
Okay, first things first, we have to get the mindset right. This is all about fundamentally shifting how you see the country. It means looking past all those glossy travel brochures and really digging into the hard data, like you would with any serious investment prospectus.
Look, on the left, you've got the view that everybody knows, right? Paradise, pura vida, an amazing place to go on vacation. And hey, it is. But for our purposes today, the investor's view on the right is the one that truly matters. When you look through this lens, you see a strategic asset. You see one of the most stable markets in the entire hemisphere and one that is starting to generate some serious high-yield potential. Getting this distinction, that's the first real step to unlocking the opportunity here.
So what's actually powering this shift toward high yield? This isn't just some marketing spin. We're talking about fundamental changes in the market itself, and they're being driven by very real, very concrete economic catalysts. And listen, massive shift is not an exaggeration. There's this convergence of new government policies and major global trends that's creating a very unique window for investors. The Costa Rica of 2026 is going to look a whole lot different from the one we see today. And the foundation for that future, well, it's being poured right now.
Now, what's so fascinating here is how these three things are working together. You've got new residency incentives that are literally rolling out the welcome mat for foreign capital and talent. That lines up perfectly with the global explosion of digital nomadism. All these skilled professionals who can now live and work from anywhere. You put those two things together, and what do you get? A brand new, high-yield environment for both rentals and sales. It's like a perfect storm of opportunity.
So if the opportunity is this clear, the next logical question is, how do you get access? Because the highest value, the best deals, they're not sitting on public websites. They're found in the structural and often hidden parts of the market itself.
Let's start with something that is absolutely critical for any international investor: fee simple title. This is so important. We're not talking about a lease or some kind of concession. This is the highest form of ownership you can have. It gives you full, irrevocable rights to the land, just like you'd have in the United States or in Europe. For your capital, that is a bedrock of security. Next up is SUGEF compliance. Now, I know this sounds technical, but its importance is just off the charts. All it really means is that financial deals are held to a very high international standard of transparency. It protects the market and your investment from any shady business. It's really a hallmark of a mature and stable financial system.
And here it is. This is where the real gains are often made. The premier properties, the ones with the most upside, they frequently never even hit the open market. They're traded within these exclusive networks. Accessing these off-market zones, well, that requires specialized on-the-ground connections.
Which, of course, brings us to our fourth key point. Navigating this landscape, from all the legal frameworks to these hidden opportunities, is just not something you can do effectively from a distance. It absolutely requires deep, local expertise.
Having experts on the ground is just essential. They're the ones who navigate the legal maze of the National Registry. They interpret some of the world's strictest environmental regulations. They can identify properties that are genuinely net zero ready, built for extreme energy efficiency and sustainability. But maybe most important of all, they are the ones who can pinpoint the specific geographic corridors that are truly poised for the highest appreciation.
And that really is the essence of the whole strategy. This isn't just about buying in Costa Rica. It's about buying in the right parts of Costa Rica at the right time and doing it based on solid economic forecasting for 2026 and beyond.
So the sources we looked at highlight two main corridors. First, you have Guanacaste. Think of this as your established market. The infrastructure is developed, the growth is proven, it's a stable, reliable play. Then you've got the southern zone. This represents an emerging frontier. Tons of potential, new development opportunities.
The right strategy for you might even involve a mix of both.
Okay, so let's pull all of these pieces together. What does all of this mean for your portfolio as you start planning for 2026? This is your strategic playbook.
You know, when it comes right down to it, this is all about foresight. A strategic play here isn't just a simple bet on one property. It's a calculated move. It's a move to diversify and secure your portfolio in a politically and economically stable country, precisely at a moment when it's going through a unique economic transition. It's really about building resilience for your future.
And so that really just leaves us with one final critical question. As you map out your own investment strategy, as you think about your goals for 2026, you just have to ask yourself, is this high-yield, stable, and strategically timed asset the missing piece in your portfolio?